Okay, we are live. All right. Okay. Just gonna get this shared everywhere, and then we'll be good to go, people. If you guys have any questions, or you want to see any market specifically trading today, let me know, or analyzing. Let me know. Just sharing this link everywhere now. It'll be 2 seconds. Right. Live sessions. Yeah. Save. Two seconds, people. Changes saved, perfect. And then I just need to go onto here. How are we doing, Dean? You okay? How are we doing, Andy? Won't be 2 seconds, okay? I'm just getting these links shared. Yeah, the markets have been quite relatively slow this morning. We've got a load of US dollar news coming at 1:30, so we can discuss that and then see what's going on in the markets. Copy. Telegram. All right. All right, perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to get this link sent into the group chat now, and then just on Reddit, and then we can crack on. Reddit and LinkedIn, and we can crack on. So that's that one, and then LinkedIn, nearly done. Is there any pairs that people want me to see, want me to go over in specific? Is there any type of analysis that you want me to do? Yeah, if you guys have any questions, please just let me know. Nearly done. I'm just waiting for this preview to load up for LinkedIn, and we can crack on. There we go. So that's that. Okay, cool. Right, let's just crack on. So I've got that chat there just so I can see what everyone's saying, and then I've got this one here. Perfect. That's fine. Okay, I think what I might do is run through the analysis from this morning. So I sent out a little trade for XAU USD, didn't I? I've got an area in mind that I feel price may come to trade into. So if we look here, we'll see on, I think it's on the 1 minute actually. It's a 1 minute unmitigated last sell to buy region. So it's a nice order block here that I want to see price trade into. You can see this marked out. We've not had price come to trade into this as of yet. Price came to sweep and clear any inefficient structure above it, but we didn't actually see a penetration of this zone. So yes, we did enter in up here. The reason being is because we had a break of structure fractally to the upside. This high here went to go and set the lowest low in the market. So we could consider this as the break of structure, a 1 minute break of structure to the upside. So if we just mark this out, just so I can make it a bit easier for you guys to see. Price then came to set a lower low. Price then broke the structure, breaking that previous structural low, what would be seen as a protected low. Price then came down to set a higher low, and then obviously we got involved, assuming price would continue then trading us higher. Now, unfortunately, price has continued trading us down. That's not an issue at the moment. We do want to see price trade into this, and hopefully that's introduce demand into this market and push price up, surpassing these highs that have been set, and hopefully creating some new highs so we can profit from this market. The good thing is we are trading with the current trend. Just zooming out so you guys can get a bigger and better picture of what's going on. Just pull that across. You can see here how price is within a corrective phase. So yes, price has been trading us bearish. We've been short in this market for some time now. I was telling people months and months and months ago, going back to the start of May, to actually get involved in shorts from 2045. Price is currently sitting around 1937. So we're looking at over 1,000 pips that could have been capitalized. I was telling people to get involved in shorts from here so we could have capitalized in this entire swing. Price is now within a corrective phase, and we've had confirmation of this via a break of structure on the higher timeframes. We could even consider this as an extreme higher time frame protected high within this bearish structure. We've seen price trade above this now. So with that being said, we do want to be looking for buy opportunities. I've had a few areas marked out as price has been delivering us with new structure. And obviously this is something that came to mind here. So I wanted to see price trade in. I want to see price trade in now and then go on to set its next impulsive wave taking us higher. I've got this in mind as an area of supply. So 1950 to 1954 as an area of supply where we can expect a potential S&D flip. Price to then go on to create a new low in this market, obviously continuing this bearish structure that we're seeing at the moment. Now, if we look here, you can see how if we were to draw a path, so from here down to here, price coming up to set a new high. Price then coming down to set a new low, price coming up to set a new high, price going on to set a new low. You can see that that's clear bearish structure, yeah? So we would still be following the higher time frame confluence, which is exactly what we need to make sure we're doing. It's very important that our shorter term and fractal bias is always following the higher time frame bias. So those are my thoughts for XAU USD. I am expecting price to turn around. Slightly preemptive this morning on those buy positions, but we were delivered with plenty of confirmation to confirm bullishness moving forward. However, we didn't have that penetration of this demand zone here. Hopefully, demand will be introduced. We can see price skyrocket, taking us higher up in the market today. We may have fundamentals help us out with that later on, but time will tell. Yesterday evening, I put out some analysis for NZD CAD. If you follow me on TradingView, let me just get this up. If you follow me on TradingView, you'll see here. Where was it? Perfect. So you can see how I called this out yesterday. Area between 0.8231 and 0.8235. 0.231, 0.235, we see price penetrate the zone, deliver us with the bearishness that we wanted. As you can see, I drew the path out exactly. You can see here how price came to trade in, delivered us with that bearish leg. So it's good to see that our analysis is playing out. So anyone who got involved in short positions yesterday from that, well done. I also sent it into the VIP chat as well. So there was That was a free trading opportunity for you guys yesterday. Just to show that, you'll see here. Oh, you can see this was the analysis that I provided yesterday, full rundown. And then we've obviously had price trade into that zone, deliver us with the bearishness. So very good position. That's what we're in on the moment as well. In terms of getting involved in further buy opportunities. Bear with me 2 seconds, people. In terms of getting involved in buy positions moving forward, I've got this area that is unmitigated and has been left over. It's clear on the 5 minute. You can see this last buy to sell region. Price is obviously traded as lower. This has been mitigated by, so this here has been mitigated by this. This has been mitigated by this. So everything else has been mitigated. There's no other order blocks we could say that was, but then price has come to trade up and into that. You can see here we would mark this out as an area of potential, but price comes to trade in, delivered us with bearishness. And we see this continue again here. Another area that would be left unmitigated, price has come to trade into this, delivered us with more bearishness. So this would be considered one, but it's been wicked into. And then these have all been mitigated, so that's fine. The only one that has been left unmitigated is the one that I've got highlighted out at the moment. So what I'll do is I'll mark this out as an area to potentially get involved in further better sell positions. So let me just mark this out for you all now. 0.8208. 0.821, sorry. Perfect. So this could be a potential area, potential sell zone. Potential sell zone. So what we would want to see is price trade us up, putting in that initial corrective wave. Trade us in, more supply to be introduced, that to deliver us with a break of structure to the downside, price to then pull back, trade us into a fractal supply zone that we'll find from the initial impulsive wave that broke the structure, and then price to trade us lower. Now, that probably or may not make sense to some of you watching, just because you might not understand smart money concepts, you might not understand supply and demand, or structural points or structural laws in the market. But just to give you a greater understanding, so this would be a break of structure, okay? And now I'm going to explain why this is relevant in a moment. And then this would be an area that we would get involved in, giving us the ability to get in on a refined entry. So just to give a better scope on this, okay? So this is an unmitigated candle. This is an order block. Price needs to trade into this to clear any remaining supply and introduce more supply into the market to continue pushing price lower. Now, to give a better explanation on this, as we know, in bearish structure, we have the production of lower highs and lower lows, yeah? Now, price comes up to correct itself like this because it's basically run out of supply. So it trades us higher into areas that are seen as unmitigated or order blocks like this to grab more supply in order to continue pushing price higher. So price would trade up and up and up and up and up until eventually it hits an area in price where supply is then introduced, and then that encourages price to then go on to take its next impulsive wave. So that's how we have the introduction of lower highs and lower lows and bearish structure in itself. So when we have it in the opposite direction, price putting in bullish structure, what we are seeing is price putting an impulsive wave higher, price coming down to correct itself because it's running out of demand. Price then finds more demand that pushes price higher, and we're seeing this happen over and over and over again. Now, price is putting in this corrective wave, but what happens is when it taps into this area of supply, more supply is introduced into the market than there is demand, and that gives us an S&D flip. So we just look at it as a weigh-in scale. We're having that flip in supply and demand. So there's now more supply in the market than there is demand. So because of that, we can then expect a new trend in the opposite direction to begin. Now we get confirmation of this via a break of structure. as I said to you earlier, when we look at bearish structure, we have the production of lower highs and lower lows. When we have the production of bullish structure, we have higher highs and higher lows. In bullish structure, the lows are protected and the highs are broken. So you can see here how the highs that are created break every single time. Yep, that's fine, that's normal. And the lows that are set in this market are always protected. We never see price come to trade beneath these. So when we do see price trade beneath this, this means that price is no longer following the laws of bullish structure and is now starting to follow the laws of bearish structure. Why? Because bearish structure, or when we have bearish structure, should I say, we have the production of lower highs and lower lows, where the lows are broken and the highs are protected. So that brings me to this here. So this represents a change in character, a change in trends, no longer following bullish structure. It tells us that this correction has finished and a new trend taking us lower is underway, which is what we want anyway, because that's the overall structure of this market. Now, this is the initial pullback where price will grab any remaining supply in before trading price lower, essentially. And this is the first lower high. In bearish structure, we have lower highs and lower lows. The lows are broken, the highs are protected. So this is the first protected high. So if we can get involved here, we can get involved with a very refined entry, because we understand that this high here should go on to create a lower low. When price goes on to create a lower low from this lower high, it means that this lower high is then seen as protected, as we understand in bearish structure, the highs are protected and the lows aren't. So we are able to set our stop loss just above this zone. Now, if you wanted to be safe, just in case price came to sweep this one, we could set it just above. But you can see how we can get involved in really refined entries. And then we would simply take our take profit to the higher time frame demand zone down here, where I'm expecting more demand to be introduced and for price to trade us up. And as you can see, we are generated with a brilliant risk-reward return of a 1 to 10. So if you're risking just 1% of your equity, you could walk away with 10 times that amount. You're looking at 10%. If you risk 2%, you're looking at 20% returns from this position. So that is just a breakdown on my analysis for NZD CAD. That's what I'm wanting to see price do now. We can see how supply, should I say, is coming to a halt, slowing down. So I'm wanting to see that reversal now. Price go on to trade us up and into this. We can get involved in that position. So I'm going to leave that there, and we can come back to that. But that's my setup essentially for this pair. Let's just see how XAU USD is doing. Not so bad. I still want to see price trade into this. Price is going to run out of demand eventually, and then we should see price come to trade us into here, so we can obviously get involved in those buy opportunities. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this like so, mark that there, put that there like that. Perfect. Okay. Just makes everything a bit neater. So that's my setup for Euro USD. It's a very bullish market. We got involved in buy positions from here on Monday, capitalized amazingly. We walked away with 6 RR on this position. That was sent out on Monday. Want to get involved again in bullish positions. It's just a case of waiting now. Sorry, I'm just getting messages from clients. So yeah, that's my setup for Euro USD. Demand supply is going to come to a halt. Demand is obviously going to take over. An S&D flip will happen. Price will trade us down into this. We should have the introduction of more supply from this order block here. That should then encourage price to go on to set a new higher high in this market. We can take full advantage of that next impulsive wave. Now, let me just check the chats. Just see if you guys have got any questions. How do you see DXY for today? I can definitely go over DXY. Are there any other markets as well that you'd like me to see me go over? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to Go on here. I'm going to get the chat up on my phone just to make it a bit easier. So I can see the chart. But yeah, are there any other pairs that you'd like to see me go over? I think what we've got to keep in mind with the DXY is we've got a lot of fundamentals coming out later on today, about 1:30. So we can expect, big shifts in the market. I'm just going to keep this chat up here for you all. But no, I'll do some analysis on DXY. All right, cool. Let's have a little look. Let's have a look at the index. Okay. Shall I do a full top-down analysis? Let's do a full top-down. Okay, so it's within a bullish phase at the moment. What I need to be looking for is areas. So I just want to highlight this out. What I'm doing is I'm just doing a quick bit of analysis here. I just want to mark out some areas and points of interest, and then we can obviously refine these as we go down on time frames. Okay, let's go down to the daily. But again, with this, with news coming out at 1:30, things can quickly change. Refine this to this. That's been wicked into by that. This potentially. Again, I'm going to refine these zones. Just doing some quick analysis, and I can give you my bias. It's not. I don't usually trade the US index, but okay, so that makes sense. All right. Okay. Potentially that, but that's all been cleared as well. So we've got this, potentially this. Let's go down to the 4-hour. The reason why I'm doing this is because what we need to understand is, right, yes, price is within a bullish phase, which is amazing. Price is within a bullish phase, so we kind of have a bias to work with. But what we need to be careful of is points in the market that can flip that bias and can flip this market. So what I'm doing is I'm just looking at the previous wave, being this one here, just for any areas that could cause price to, conclude this bullishness that we're seeing at the moment. We've had a break of structure here. I'm going to get to more present time in just a moment, but I think it's very important to look at the higher time frame scope of things before we go to present time. So just having a little look here. Let me just go back down to the 4-hour. I just want to make sure that these areas can't be further refined. It's not going to let me go as far any further back, is it? Nightmare. Right, so stick with these for now. So this is irrelevant because price has already traded above this. We can see how price has traded into this one perfectly. So, if we had done this analysis prior, marking out this as a supply zone, I didn't even look at where it was going to. I just looked at this data and managed to find an unmitigated last buy to sell region. I've highlighted it, dragged it across, and you can see how price has traded us in perfectly. So if we got involved in short positions there, that would have been an amazing trade. So just going more to present time now. We've had a break of structure to the downside. I would say this was the last structural low, the last protected low within this bullishness, as this low here went on to set this high. Yeah. So that's the break of structure to the downside. Perfect. What we are seeing now is price ranging, creating equal lows. So that tells me that price is accumulating. Price seems to be preparing for an up move. What I can see within the initial, so what we do is when we are delivered with a break of structure, okay, it's important to look at the impulsive wave that broke the structure. So I would say this was the impulsive wave that broke the structure. Yeah, I'm just going to highlight this out. From here to here is the initial impulsive wave that broke this structure here, right? So this break of structure tells us that this bullishness trading us up and into this supply zone that we've marked out has concluded, and a move taking us lower is underway. Yeah. Now, when we are delivered with a break of structure, it is very important to look at the impulsive wave, as I said, that broke the structure, the initial impulsive wave that broke the structure, to find any areas that have been left unmitigated, any remaining order blocks that price needs to trade up into before trading goes lower, because that is going to be the point at which price delivers us with its first lower high. Okay, so we can see here that there is an order block, and I'm going to see if I can further refine this when I go down on time frames, because we're still on the daily time frame. So just looking here on the daily, I can see that there's an unmitigated last buy to sell region. So this gives us a goal at which I believe price will trade up and into, and as I say, I will further refine this, but I feel price will trade up and into this before delivering us with the next leg lower. Now, again, this is the US dollar index. Things can change with fundamentals, and obviously we've got a lot of fundamentals coming at 1:30 today. Let me get Forex Factory up, actually, one sec. I know we've got a lot today. Yeah, so we've got CPI month to month, CPI year to year, core CPI. We've got a lot at 1:30. Just going to have a look at some of the notes on here. So forecasted, we've got a forecast of 0.3%. It's the lowest in 3 months. Yeah, so the US dollar falls to the lowest in 3 months ahead of inflation data. So realistically, in order for this trade to come into fruition, okay, and in order for price to play out as we want it to, so realistically, we want price to go in a bullish way, okay, and we want price to trade us up and into this supply zone before delivering us with bearishness. So realistically, we want to see the actual results from the CPI to be greater or better than the forecasted. So the forecasted is 0.3. So we want it to be anything above 0.3. In doing so, that is going to encourage price to trade higher, because that's going to appreciate the US dollar index. So we would see price traders up. So maybe if we have good news with the CPI, that may trade us up and into this, and then obviously encourage that S&D flip, hopefully. But yeah, we've got a lot of news coming at 1:30. We're pretty rammed today, actually. This morning we had a lot at 3 a.m. NZD, which probably explains our trade from this morning. NZD CAD with our short 3 o'clock. You can see here 3:35. We had that spike up. That's down to the official cash rates from for the NZD CAD. NZD, should I say? Anyway, going back to this, we had the break of structure to the downside. We're expecting a bearishness longer term, but we do want to see price trade up and into this supply zone here, so we can obviously get involved in bearish positions, right? So from here, what we want to see is price traders up and into this. We want to see, realistically, we want to see clear bullishness trading us up. I'm just going to see if I can refine this anymore. Okay, I can refine it to this here, this last buy to sell, because we could argue that these two sell candles have traded into that. So I'll be happy to refine it to here. Let's go down to the 1 hour. Got a lot of inefficient structure laying below. This definitely needs to be cleared. I would be happy with this. All right, so what we want to see is we want to see the introduction of clear bullishness now, okay? So we want to be delivered with some sort of break of structure to the upside. So I want to see this high break. Change this to 1. I want to see, this is what I want to see happen. This is my my bias for this market. So I want to see a break in this to the upside, not like that. Let's make this straight, like that. Price trade up, breaking this, telling us that price is within a corrective phase, giving us confirmation that price is within a corrective phase. Price is then going to pull back into a fractal demand zone. Traders up and into this, so we can expect bullishness, of course. Trading goes up and into this. Perfect. From there, we want to see the remaining supply to be introduced into this market. That to break the bullish correction, trading goes up and into this supply zone. Price then pulls back to clear any remaining supply that is left over from the impulsive wave that broke the structure, and then that to trade price lower. So it's literally just a repeat process of what we've had on the higher time frames. If we look here, let's go to the weekly. We've got a wave trading goes lower. Price has traded up and into this. Perfect. We've had a break of structure, as you can see here. We've had the break of structure. So we've had the wave trading goes lower. This is the wave trading goes lower. So you can see that it is literally just a repeat process over and over again. So I'm going to draw out this just so I can highlight and show you. So that's the initial impulsive wave, let's say. This is the initial impulsive wave. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I can guarantee that price comes to trade into an unmitigated, you can see here, look. This right here, this green candle. From this whole area right here, price doesn't come to trade into this. It's probably actually this here. I'm going to highlight this whole area out as an unmitigated region. Price has come to tap into this. So what we are seeing, okay, is a wave. So we've got an impulsive wave trading goes lower. Price has traded up, tapped us into a supply zone. We've then had a break of structure here, we could say. So this would be the last protected low within this bullish structure, because that went on to create the highest high, and we are literally repeating this process over and over and over again. So this is the break of structure here. I'm going to change this to red because the other one is red. So we have the impulsive wave, price trades up into the supply zone. We're delivered with the break of structure that confirms further bearishness. We then have the impulsive wave, just the same as this. We then have an area in mind of supply. Price comes to trade up and into this. We then have the break of structure, just like the break of structure here. So we then have the break of structure. We zoom in again, and we're doing this over and over and over and again. And by doing this over and over and over again, we are getting a more refined entry, which is going to help us with the bigger picture, So then we have another impulsive wave. We have another supply zone in mind that price needs to come and trade up and into. And this is where our entry is going to come from. So price then trades up. Price then trades up, delivers us with clear bullish structure. So we'll just go down now. I'm just going to go down to like the 4 hours. Price delivers us with the break of structure to the downside, like so. BOS again. Price then pulls back. So look, if we have a look at this again, just you guys. I just want to make sure that you guys are understanding and following this. We've got an impulsive wave trading us lower. We found a supply zone for us to enter in on. Price is traded up and into this. We've had the break of structure to the downside to confirm further bearishness. We then zoom in. Impulsive wave. We look for a supply zone, just as we have done here. We look for another supply zone. Price trades into this supply zone. We have another break of structure to confirm the next bearish move trading us lower. This is the impulsive wave. We then have another area of supply. Price trades us into this. We then have another break of structure. Okay, so this is the next break of structure, right? So now I'm just going to go down on the 4 hours just to make it easier to draw. We then look at the next impulsive wave. So do you remember those white lines that I was drawing on this? This is this one here, right? So let's just change this to white. That's the white line that I was drawing on the previous ones, because this is the break of structure. This is the impulsive wave that broke the structure. We then find another fractal supply zone in and around this initial impulsive wave, just as we have done here, just as we have done here, and just as we have done previous data. I'm too far in now on the time frames to go back and show, but then what we would do is we would look for price to trade up and into this. Then we would go down on time frames again. So now looking at the 1 hour, 30 minutes even. And what we'd want to see is for price to then deliver us with another break of structure in and around this zone, right? So it's literally just repeating this process over and over again. So there'll be a break of structure somewhere here. Price will then pull back and then we'll get involved from there. The reason why we're repeating that process over and over again is because by doing so, what we're enabling is for us to get involved in a very refined entry on a short position. So let's just say that we did get involved on this. This is obviously not the best of examples, but just as a quick example, let's say that we did get involved in short positions, okay? Let's just say that it was like this, right? Because we understand the overall direction of this market, and because we have points of interest, and we understand that realistically, if this market is trading us in a bearish way, we should see this continue. We are able to get involved with a very refined entry like so, but have a higher time frame goal in mind. So we could then trade price all the way down to say this low, because we understand that we are having the introduction of clear bearish structure, right? So if I just get my path tool out, we have a low set, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, yeah? That's clear bearish structure right there. So we understand that realistically, this low eventually should be broken to create a new lower low. So by setting our take profit just above this, we are guaranteeing that our take profit can be achieved. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, we are literally just repeating that process over and over and over again. Saeed, thank you very much for the comment. I've been trading for 7 years, my mate. But thank you. So that would be our setup there essentially. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the DXY. I want to see price traders up and higher into this market. Let's just see if fundamentals at half one give us that say so. Same with this. I want to see price trade up and into this supply zone. For supply to be introduced, price to traders lower, creating that new lower low. Thank you very much, Kimpton. Are there any pairs or any markets that you want me to go over? Realistically, I should be looking for, let's have a look and see if we can find any scalp-like trades for this morning. I still want to see price trade into this. Are there any markets, any pairs that you want me to go over? Price is pretty much, we're not far off a potential position on Great British Pound to the US dollar. If you guys haven't done, mark this out as a potential area to look to go short from. Yes, it's a very big area. I'm highlighting an entire 4 hour last buy to sell region. But what we want to see price do is trade into this, deliver us with a break of structure to the downside, price to pull back, tapping into a fractal supply zone, and then for price to trade us lower. Again, we can set our take profits just above this this low here, as we can expect price to break this low in the future. As you can see, price is clearly trading us in a bearish way, yeah. Again, just to show you my thoughts and my analysis on this. So let's just say this is an impulsive wave trading us lower. This is the correction, an impulsive wave, correction, impulsive wave, correction, impulsive wave. Yeah, that's clear bearish structure. So the higher time frame confluence of this market, the Great British Pound to the US dollar, is clearly trading us in a bearish way. We just want to obviously get involved in the next impulsive wave. If we can get involved in the next higher time frame impulsive wave, we are going to be able to capitalize on a very large swing. So then what we want to do is when we highlight these zones and areas, we have these areas in mind, these points of interest, if we are then able to refine our entry, so by going down on multiple time frames in and around this zone to get those breaks of structure, to confirm that next impulsive wave, we're then obviously able to capitalize, right? So I'm just going to see if there's anything else that shouldn't be out else. Price has come to clear this. Price has come to clear that. Everything else seems to have been mitigated. And it's if you guys are struggling to understand all the blocks, what I would suggest you do is look at. So if we look here, we can see that this is clear bearish structure. So what you guys could do is you could look at the highs that are being created and look and see why they are being created where they are. Okay, so just go into this as an example. This high has been created because it's come to tap into this order block, this area, this last buy to sell region, this buy candle. These highs have been created because of this last buy to sell region. These highs have been created because of this last buy to sell candle right here. And you can just literally repeat this process over and over again. And eventually you'll get a greater understanding on how these order blocks come into fruition and how they work, yeah? Now we would argue, well, these wicks here have come to mitigate this candle. So this has probably come to clear anything that's been left over here, right? So if we go down on the time frames, probably looking at the 4 and 1 hour, you will probably find that there is an unmitigated candle within that wick. And you just literally repeat that process over and over again, and you get a better understanding on how these order blocks work. And when you start to see these patterns, it makes things so much easier. But I think it's just understanding that initially. But now, as I say, I've got this as an area. We had a lot of inefficient structure laying below. I want to see price trade up and into this. What we'll do is when we have a penetration of this zone, we can then expect a lot of supply to be introduced. And that's where I'm going to start to look to get involved in this market in short positions. So I'm just going to move my alerts up here. Then what we can expect. So let me just get a path tool out. We can expect price to trade up. Loads of supply to be introduced. That should flip the S&D balance, breaking structure to the downside. Price then pulls back, and then obviously trades us lower, yeah? So we would say, like, say that this low now that it's coming to create is the last protected low. That's a low there. Price is broken beneath that. Price then pulls back. We then go down on time frames, finding another fractal supply zone. We find one, say here, like so. And then we just repeat the process over and over again. So price taps into a supply zone, break structure to the downside. Price pulls back, taps into another supply zone, break structure to the downside. Price taps into a supply zone, break structure to the downside. Continue to do this over and over again, down on the time frames, and that is how you get your refined entries. Now, don't get me wrong, there is no harm in placing a position like this So as soon as we have the penetration of this and you see some kind of rejection, your break of structure, however it is that you get your confirmation, you could enter in like so, yeah? But you've got 128 pips stop loss. Now, to some people that are longer term traders, long term holders, that's fine. And then you could have your take profit like this. This right here would be a profitable position, a brilliant position as well. We're looking at an 18 RR, which is amazing. But if you really wanted to stretch your risk reward ratio and really get involved with a refined entry, you would literally just wait for that break of structure, wait for the pullback into a fractal supply zone, and you'd get involved in this one. You'd have your stop loss set just above this here. Do you see what I'm saying? And now you can see your trade goes from being a 1 to 17, 1 to 18 to a 1 to 89. Do you know what I mean? And people go, no, that's a load of rubbish. That's lies. That's fake. Da da da. It's not, and I can prove this over and over again. Let me just see if you guys can you see my market my charts. I just want to make sure you can see this screen, because if you can, bear with me 2 seconds. One sec. What I want to do is get screen 2 up like this. Perfect. Okay, so because what I want to do is I want to show you this, because people don't believe that this is realistic, but it is very, very realistic. So this was obviously the trade that I sent out yesterday. NZD card, I wanted to see price trade up and into this, deliver us with the next bearish leg lower. So that was from yesterday, and you can see that price is playing out exactly as we want. So that's amazing. So that was just from yesterday. And that is literally just following the same thing that we've been doing, or what I've been showing on other markets. Let's just have a look and see what else we've got here. Euro USD. Oh yeah, this was the Euro USD trade, and I'll show you the before. I can get a before. I'm just trying to find a before. Where is it? USD, perfect. Okay, so we have a look at this here as well. Where's it gone? Perfect. So here, I wanted to see price trade into this unmitigated last sell to buy region, clear order block, an area of demand before price trades as high. As you can see, I've drawn the path out. I put this out on LinkedIn. I put it out on TradingView. I put it out on YouTube on the Sunday Sessions video. I put it out on Telegram. You can see that I put this out it was 10 o'clock on the Sunday. And then if we get an update, you can see here, price traded into this. That's that same zone. I got people an entry. You can see how this market plays out absolutely perfectly. Price does actually go on to take profit. See, so that was the original position. Now this is now another zone that I'm looking to get involved in. But you can see that these zones and areas, they do work, and we are able to really stretch our take profits and have greater risk reward returns from these positions as well. So that was that position. What else have we got? I think we closed the entry with that. This was this morning, which we're still in on. I'm just waiting now for price to trade into that demand zone, and then that's the other update. Let's see what else we've got. I just want to show some other things off in the VIP chat. So those are the last 2 trades. So that's just this week. So we've had the NZD card from yesterday, and we also had the Euro USD from the start of the week, so from Monday, and then we're in on XAU USD now as well. Let me just see what else we've got here. This was a good one, XAU USD as well, actually. So here, look, again, I gave these 2 zones, 2 areas in price I wanted to see price trade down and into before taking was higher. That's just another trade, Great British Pound US dollar. That's another one as well, Euro Great British Pound. You can see here, price is traded in. Yeah, price traded into this one, delivered us with the bullish structure we wanted. 80 pips, 8%. We had a 10 pip stop loss. So we're running 80 pips there. That's 8%. I know it's 20. It was a 20 pip stop loss, should I say? I gave a re-entry. So again, if we just zoom in on this, it won't let me zoom in. But you can see here, this is an unmitigated candle. There's a red candle here that was left unmitigated. I gave this zone as an area to get involved in buys. Price trades in. We see price go on to set that next high. So what we are doing is we are finding these points. We are finding these areas in the market, okay, that price needs to pull back into to grab more demand in order to push price higher to create new highs. That's all we are doing. We are finding these areas. So price played out perfectly on that one. So that was another trade there. And then I think I provided another potential re-entry as well. So yeah, they're just some examples of some of the trades as of recently and this strategy and how it works. We are literally just looking at order blocks and getting involved from these order blocks. But yeah, is there any pairs, any markets that you guys want to see me trade, see me analyze, should I say? Or is there any analysis that you want me to go through? Is there anything you're unsure about? Is there anything any questions that you guys have? At the moment, I am literally just waiting for this NZD CAD to pull back so I can get involved in this market. And I'm just waiting for XAU USD. So XAU USD has just tapped into this now, actually. Which is good. So I am now expecting or wanting to see price trade up in this market. Delivers with some bullish structure. Again, waiting for price to trade us into this. If you want to pause, if you want to say pause the video, but pause the live, mark this out as an area on Euro USD, then by all means do so. We could actually look to go short in this market, but what I would want to see is price surpass these lows that was set here, because that is actually a order block. This is an order block. I don't want to see price trade beneath this. If price trades beneath this, I'll have more confidence that price is actually putting in that corrective wave. From there, I look to get involved from a fractal supply zone that would be left over from here. Euro, Great British Pound. I'm still wanting to see price trade into here. Oh yeah, that was the buy positions we got involved in. So we've got this as an area. So this whole candle here would be an area to get involved from. Those are the increments on the right hand side. What else? This isn't far off being ready either. Now, some people, this is a good thing to mention as well, is some people now would be like, oh, but it's not tapped in, but it's nearly tapped in. And we've started to see good signs of rejection to the downside. So then people will be preemptive and get involved in sell positions here, when realistically you don't want to be doing that. You want to, if price doesn't trade into your supply or demand zone, but delivers you with the structure you wanted to see, it doesn't give you a valid point to enter. What you want to do is you actually want to wait for price to trade into the supply zone, because best believe price could trade us down like so, but it could just trade us down and into here before then taking us up. So if you're getting involved in, say, short positions around here, and then price comes to spike up, you're just going to get taken out of the market. So what you need to do is you actually do need to wait for price to trade into these supply and demand zones, because it all happens for a reason. The reason why we want to see price trade into these zones is because there are orders waiting to be activated. So that we are waiting for supply to be introduced by tapping into this. So price pulling back now is literally just part of this bullish structure. Yeah, price is pulling back, going to trade us up and into that. That's when supply will be introduced and flip the market. But I see a lot of times people be like, oh, well, it nearly tapped in, so I got involved in those short positions. Well, You shouldn't have been getting involved in those short positions unless price has tapped in, until you've definitely had a penetration of this area in price, because without that, there isn't going to be enough supply to completely flip this market. So it's always important that we are waiting for the right confirmation in order to enter into these markets. It's important that we obviously follow our trading plan and follow our trading strategy. So that is something I always wait for. Like now, a lot of people, as I say, would be preemptive and just get involved in shorts. But for me, if it doesn't trade in, then that's my setup invalidated. Yep, I will analyze Great British Pound to the Japanese yen. What happened to James? James is still around. James is actually putting up a video on today. Actually, there'll be a new video up on the channel about 5 o'clock. James is so basically, obviously, I don't just a background story on me and James and LAGFX as a whole. LAGFX is my initials, so LAG is my initials. FX, it's obviously I started trading Forex 7 years ago. I started learning how to trade Forex. 5, 6 years I've been trading. 3 years, 3 years I've been or founded LAGFX. Yeah, I started this on my own initially, and then James got involved, and James has been with us ever since. However, when we moved to Manchester, James wanted to still trade and still be a part of LAGFX, but he actually wanted to create his own business and have his own lane as well. Do you know what I mean? Now, it was a strategic play. It wasn't just something that. It wasn't like, he wanted to start his own business in Forex because he's already got one with me, LAGFX. But what he wanted to do is create a business that would be that would fit alongside trading and how we do things. So he's actually got his own marketing business, and at the moment it is just within the startup phases. So he's been putting a lot of time and effort into that. But best believe James isn't going anywhere. James is stuck with us. He's just been putting a lot of time into his marketing business. He's got like a team of 10 or 11 people now. It's going really well. He's just wants to get to a point where it's sustainable, without him having to liaise and obviously be there all the time. He's got his own office and things like that. So yeah, when it gets to that point, we will start to see a lot more of James moving forward. But yeah, he's just he's been busy doing things like that. I will do, Dean. I will do. But yeah, so yeah, that's where James has been as of recently. But no, he still does as admin for me. He still does stuff within LAGFX, just more things that are in the background. But he's got a video coming out today, which will be quite good actually. It deviates away a little bit from Forex, but it's still obviously related to Forex. It's more about creating goals, setting goals, the psychology of Forex. He's all about the mindset. He's very intuitive in that way. He's all about psychology and things like that. It's all good and well having a strategy that works. This strategy works. I can teach this strategy to 10 students, but if all 10 students didn't have their psychology, on lock, and that they didn't have a greater grasp of their psychology, and didn't have it in check, you're not going to be able to implement this strategy correctly. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, he focuses that video on the psychology of trading Forex, because there's so much that comes into it. It's quite easy to find an edge within the market, but it's being able to implement it the same way every single time, without being preemptive, without being greedy, without having that fear to trade the markets. So yeah, Great British Pound, Japanese yen. Let's do some analysis on this. I'm actually going to set an alert for here as well, because it'll be interesting to see what happens later today on the DXY. but it's going to go off. It will definitely go off at half one. Great British Pound to the Japanese Yen. Let's have a look. Wow. So price has just tapped into a supply zone actually that I've had marked out. I've not looked at this market for some time actually. So let's just see what's going on. Wow, okay. So there could be a trading opportunity here. So Kimpton, thank you very much for getting me to check this market, because I don't know why my alert's not gone off there. Has anyone noticed that as well? Like people that use TradingView on their phone, there'll be times where I'll go out, so I'll do my analysis in the morning. I do a top-down analysis on a Sunday on like 4 or 5 pairs that I'm looking to trade in the week. And then say during the week, I'll do my updated analysis, and then I may go out, doing other things. So I won't have access to my laptop at the time. So I'll set alerts and I'll just be on my phone. I'll come home and price has traded into these alerts, but has not alerted me on my phone. Does anyone else have that problem? Because I have that problem where my alerts just don't go off, and this is one of them. So here, okay, we've had the penetration of a supply zone. And again, this is a market that I haven't been on for ages, but I've had a supply zone marked out, and you can see how prices traded in and rejected. That's no fluke. That's not being lucky. That's analyzing the markets correctly and how this strategy works. So I would say this is the last structural low within the higher time frames, this right here, because this low here went to set these highs, which are the highest highs in this market. Perfect. So in order for me to get full confirmation of a higher time frame reversal, I want to see a break in these lows. Not like that. I want to see a break in these lows, BOS here, and then we can expect price to pull back. So again, we would mark this out as the impulsive wave that broke the structure. So if you were here earlier, draw it out as a white line like this, and what we would do is we'd look at the impulsive wave that broke the structure to the downside to try and find any refined supply zones that we can look to get involved from. So we'll go down to the 1 hour time frame. Let's see if we can see any unmitigated candles. We could have got involved in this market. So these are the highest highs. So this would have been the low, the protected lows. So if you wanted to be refined with it, we would have said this was the break of structure. Change that to that. This was the break of structure. This is you to get involved in refined entries. And then we would have looked at this as the impulsive wave that broke the structure. So from these highs here to this low. Okay. And then it's just a case of looking at this data for any areas that have been left unmitigated. Well, I can see this last buy to sell region here, this order block right here. So I would have marked this out as an area to potentially get involved from, like that. Like so. Price has come to trade up and into that. So then what I would have done is again repeated the process. So this is me showing you exactly how I would have placed this position. Let's have a look. So now going down. So this is the last protected. Let's see. We go down to the 1 minute or the 5 minutes. Perfect. So if we were to go down to the 1 minute, I don't think it will let me go as far as that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you can see here, price is traded up and into this. I just want to check this so yeah, so we just move that down like that to cover that low. That's fine. So price comes to tap in. So we would have to mark out the last structural low. Again, we're just repeating that same process, the break of structure to the downside. This would be the break of structure. This was the last low that set this high. So that's the last protected low. Break of structure here. Again, repeat the process. So we mark this out. So it'll be from this high to this low. That's the initial impulsive wave. We look within this initial impulsive wave for areas that have been left unmitigated. We've got an order block right here. 1 sec. Go from here to here. So from this, the low of this wick to the top of this one, price comes to trade in. And because we are now this low of a time frame, we're now on the 1 minutes. We can just get in as soon as we have a penetration and a rejection to the downside. If you wanted to, you could even wait for a break in these lows. So as soon as we have a break in this low, yeah, we could then get involved. So then we would have got involved here. This would have been my entry, okay, if we had obviously caught this earlier. So, and then I would have my stop loss would be 2 pips above the zone. So it's 10.9 there. So we do 12.9 like this. Perfect. 2 pips. The reason why I do that is just to avoid being swept out of the market and for spreads. And then my take profit would be set just above this point here because this is the higher time frame. So I would set my take profit somewhere here. It's just above the higher time frame low, and we can expect that low to be broken, which it has been. And as you can see, we're walking away with a 1 to 7. Now that is a full top down back tested trade that would have worked. There's no doubt about it, and that is just following that strategy that I've just that I've explained throughout this live session. It's just rinsing and repeating that process. It's as simple as that, and that would have been a perfect 1 to 7 trade. So you're looking at 7%, risking 1%, 14% if you're risking 2. So because we've missed that opportunity, unfortunately, what I want to do now is I want to wait for this break of structure here to the downside, because that's going to confirm longer term bearishness, which means that we can look to set our take profit a lot lower. And we can really stretch our risk to reward ratio. So let's have a look. I'm just going to get rid of this now that I've explained all of that. So I'm just going to try and see potentially here. So there's actually here this last green buy to sell candle. This is an area to get involved in shorts, as well as this one here. So I'll mark these out as areas for you all. But those could be our new areas to get involved in short positions. But I want to see this. I want to see these protected lows here break first. Okay. Just going to mark these out for you all now. So it's 182.91, 183.22. But I hope that analysis makes sense, Kimpton. Do you understand like the process as well that I just went through? If anyone watching doesn't understand the process, please let me know, and I'll go through it again. Honestly, like it's not going to be overnight that you guys understand where all the blocks are and things of that nature, and the things that make up the details of the strategy. But if you can understand the overall concept of it, you'll be so successful when it comes to placing positions. These are the 2 areas that I'm looking to get involved in shorts from. I just want to see this slow break, but we could have got involved already in this market. I just haven't had it up. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, God will buy, say gold. So look at gold. Yeah, I'm looking for buys in gold. Perfect. So if you were here at the start of the session, I entered in here slightly preemptively this morning in buy positions, but I wanted to see price come and trade down and into this, hence why I had my stop loss beneath this point. So I wanted to see price trade into this, clear any remaining demand before trading price higher. We've had price now penetrate this. We've now had price trade us higher. So expecting this to continue furthermore now. We can see here as well. So we just look at this, get the path tool out. Price has come to set this low. Price is now set a high. I want to see price trade up like so. We could say this was a sell to buy order block. Last sell to buy region. Price is trading into this. Let's see if we can get a push up now from here. Price may want to come to trade back into this, because we haven't actually seen price trade into this one yet. So this could be an area to potentially look to get involved in buy positions from. Let's see how price reacts to these two zones. But I am in on buys on this market. I wanted to see price trade up and into this this high time frame supply zone here. Does that make sense, Kimpton? Did that analysis make sense? Like that rundown on euro, on a Great British Pound to the Japanese yen? Like, did it make sense? I don't know. I mean, I hope it did. If it didn't, let me know, and I'll go through it again. Is there any pairs, any other pairs that you guys want to see me analyze? Is there anything you guys want to see me talk about? Want to hear me talk about? Any part of the strategy you don't understand? Hoping for a push before 130 fundamentals on XAUUSD. Exactly that, man. What we can do is we can move our SL to entry just to protect our position before half one. But yeah, we've got a lot of fundamentals due. Yeah, we've got a lot of fundamentals due. In eyes of this position here for XAUUSD, realistically, we want the results, so the forecast, the actual results of this forecast to be worse than what the what's predicted and what the forecast is. So we want the actual to be worse than. That is obviously going to appreciate gold, depreciate the US dollar, which is obviously going to encourage this market to trade higher. But then for our DXY analysis, we want to see price trade up and into that supply zone. So, and price does seem to be trading in a bullish way. I'm just going to refine this a little bit, like that. It'll be interesting to see anyway how this market plays. See price trade into this and then take us up higher. So it surpassed this one, so that's fine. See how price trades now with this here. Your USD. Just going to check the chats on here on Trading View. Does anyone have any questions? Is anyone unsure about anything? Do you want to see we go over any pairs? Please let me know. We are literally just waiting at the moment. Obviously, we've got fundamentals in about 40 minutes. What I might do is call it a close in 15 minutes. So that'll be an hour and a half that we've been streaming for, and then after fundamentals, I'll come back. Because what I like to do is just dedicate a bit of time to the clients in the VIP chat. Round fundamentals, round half one, and then I'll jump back on live and see what's going on. So we'll say about 15 minutes. But if there's any pairs that you want to see me go over, analyze, please let me know. Let's see, I'm just trying to see if there's any. So we've seen price penetrate this and reject, which is good. So let's just see how price plays here. 20 seconds left of this candle. So we'll have the open of a new candle that may come to trade into this, and hopefully we can see price trade above this, because this is an unmitigated region in supply right here. So what I don't want to see is for price to create a new candle like it has done now, trade into this and then trade lower. I want to see price now reject from here, supply to be enough supply now to surpass this, enough demand, sorry, to be to surpass this area of supply. We've had good rejection with this here, which is good. Let's see how price plays now. Okay. USD. We've had price trade beneath this, which is good. So we've had what we would want to see as a break of structure. Let's go to the 1 minute and see if there's anything. There's an area that we can look to get involved in shorts from. It's come to clear that. That's come to clear that. That's come to clear. That's come to clear this. Potentially here. Could argue that that's come to clear it. Trying to find areas of entry. There's nothing screaming out to me at the moment, apart from this. This here, actually. This could give us a solid entry here. Tomfoolery. Foolery. Let's just check these comments. Let's just see. I know, yeah. Let's just see now how price plays. So USD saying. We've got a minute left of this candle. I want to see price take off. It's traded us into this. It's traded us into this 1 minute unmitigated candle. We've had the introduction of bullishness. Price is now pulling back into a fractal demand zone that's been left over from that push up. And I want to see a continuation in this bullishness and start to trade us higher. But let's just see what happens. Obviously, we need to be mindful of fundamentals. But are there any other pairs that you guys want to see me trade, analyze? Any analysis that you want me to go over? I'm going to have this area as highlighted. So if you guys want to mark this out as an area on your USD, then by all means do so. 1.1028, 1.1029. Price trade up. Break structure to the downside if we get involved. Price may come to trade into this now and continue trading us lower for the time being. But that's my setup. Now, can we look to get involved in buy positions before we go short? Yes, but is there really any point? Because that would be trading against the current trend. Yes, we are expecting price to put in a corrective wave, but by the time we get confirmation of this correction, there's probably going to be no point, because until price has surpassed this high here, I wouldn't be confident that price is in a bullish way, because this high went to set this low. Yeah, so I would want to see this high break, price then pull back before obviously looking to even get involved in buy positions. But by this point, by price being up here, we're not far off from the supply zone, so there's probably no point realistically. But yeah, let's see how price trades and plays out. So that's that one. Euro, Great British Pound, not far off. Not far off with this either. We've got a lot of setups that it's just a case of waiting now. Waiting to see how price plays. XAUUSD is lingering around our entry. How long have we been streaming for? Let's have a little look. An hour and 24 minutes. 5 minutes, people. 5 minutes. In the next 5 minutes, I'll just call it a day with this stream, and then I'm going to wait for fundamentals to come out in half hour. adjust our analysis accordingly, and then I will probably jump back on another stream for the afternoon. See how price is reacting to this unmitigated candle. Is that the low, the 1 minute low that it's saying? So if you guys have got any questions before I do go, ask them now. Just going to check the 1 minute on here. Make sure I've not missed out anything. That potentially there as well. Where else? Here. So there's a few areas actually. But these are fractal order blocks. I think everything else is okay. Be interesting to see how this plays. Let's have a look on here. I think we're all set on that. We're all set on that. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see this go trade us higher. How many pips are we away? 10. It's not even worth it. Right, I'm going to call it there. How long have we been streaming for? An hour and 28 minutes. Right, I'm going to call it there. What I'll do, as I said, is I'll be back probably post fundamentals. I'm just going to wait now for the results to come out in about 25 minutes. Wait for the markets to calm down, readjust our analysis, and then go from there, looking at placing any positions. I've marked out these zones in areas. So we've got areas to work with post fundamentals. So hopefully we had the penetration of some of these zones, and then we can crack on. We can crack on with some placing some positions. But at least we've got some areas marked out and areas to look forward to if we have the right setups play out. Any last questions before I go? No problem, Andy. This is just how it is sometimes, you know. With the markets, it's literally just a case of doing your analysis and then waiting for price to set itself up and play out as we want it to, you know. And this is all part of being able to control your emotions and having your psychology in check, because, you know, there are people out there and there are traders out there who are too preemptive, and they may be like, oh, well, you know, I want to get involved in positions regardless of whether a setup is played out or not, you know. No final questions? Right. I will be back probably between 2:15 and 2:30. And I'll probably hop on for another hour. Catch the end of the London session. and try and get involved in some positions before the end of the day. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys have learned something from this Great British Pound Japanese yen setup that I did, this full top down analysis. I think that was a good example to show, to be completely honest with you. Yeah. If you guys do have any other questions or need anything from me, drop me a message on Telegram and I'll get back to you ASAP with those. But yeah, I'll catch you all a little bit later on today.